Hello everybody, welcome to Advanced MS Excel. Let's learn. Guys, I'm your Excel instructor. Today we are going to cover Outlook automation, how we can automate Outlook emails. Guys, let me tell you one scenario. Suppose we have 100 or 1,000 customers. Actually, if we have to send reminder to everybody manually, it will take away entire day where the data is changing, their amount is different, and customer ID is different. So how to do such task with VBA? How to automate number of emails? So guys, let's get into this. And before we start Outlook VBA automation, we have to understand two things. These two things we have to understand: early binding and late binding. So guys, there are two things. If Outlook is open, so you have to get the object. If Outlook is not open, you have to instantiate the object. So two things is there. So now let me tell you first late binding. Late binding, when you have to instantiate the object of the Outlook. So this is the syntax which you have to write, because when you consider everything as object, so you have to consider all the variables as object, and you have to define this way. When you have to do this kind of automation, where see, you are doing automation from Excel to Outlook. So Excel should know what is Outlook. So in the reference Outlook object library, you have to set the reference that I will cover now. So superficially, I told you what is early binding and late binding. In late binding, everything is object. In early binding, you have to set the reference to the object library. You'll understand now once we start doing the automation. Now let me tell you something. Outlook mail generation VBA. Read this. Since automation is happening with Microsoft Outlook, so you are doing automation in VBA, which is happening in Excel. So it is very easy, in Excel to connect with Outlook with the logic of early binding and late binding. So now read this. Since Outlook supports automation, we can control Outlook from any program that is coded within Microsoft Visual Basics. Automation provides a standard method for one application to access this object and events of other applications that support automation. The Outlook object model provides all of the functionality necessary to manipulate data that is stored in Outlook folders. Very good. So now you understand late binding uses either the Visual Basic get object function or the create object function to initialize object. For example, the following code set an object variable to the Outlook object, which is the highest level object in the Outlook object model. So now you see we are talking about these two things, where I have written personally to make you understand better what is early binding and what is late binding, guys. Okay, in late binding, it refers to object. That's why these two things are object. So guys, understand, when we open Outlook, guys, this is the Outlook app. When we go to Outlook mail, this is called Outlook mail. So there are two objects which we have to define. Let me show you an example where we have data. You can understand better. All right. So now, so guys, you can see this is my file. All right. You can see this is my file. So guys, you can see this is the data where I have customer IDs and amount and email addresses. So these customers owes me this amount, which they have to make the payment as early as possible before their account is locked. So these are the email addresses. Assume the email addresses are different because we have to run the loop for all the customers. So now I have only taken 10 set of customers where I have to get these amounts from each of the customer. So there are two things. Either I generate one email and then keep on changing the email addresses, or change the value every time. So for example, if you have 1,000 emails, so you can't do this 1,000 times. So what you have to do, there are two things. Either you run this entire things through VBA code, or either we can do that kind of stuff in mail merge. So mail merge we have already explained. And now let's do this job with this VBA. All right, so now how to get started? Since this file is already saved with the extension of Excel SM, you can see that macro enabled workbook. We have already saved this, and now let's get started, guys. So this is the data which is kept in data tab. Let me do Alt F11. Then let's do Control R. We are in this, and then insert module. So guys, let's do this with first early binding. Sub Outlook mail. So as we have already explained in the PPT, that if we are doing with early binding, we have to have all these line of code. All right. So let's do that. How we can write dim. You can have some small out app as, guys, now you can see that it is not coming in our intelligence list. All right, because Excel doesn't know still what is that. So before you get into this, since we are doing with early binding, so now you can write early binding. So when you are doing a code with early binding, you have to go to tool and reference. So please be careful and focused. What actually I'm doing here, you have to follow everything. So now you go to down and then Microsoft Outlook. All right, IJKLMNOP. Now you see Microsoft Outlook has come now. Let's go step by step, or maybe you can go faster. Now you see that Microsoft Outlook 15.0 object library. So you have to select this and then OK. Now if you write this line of coding, Outlook app as Outlook dot application. Now you see in intelligence list we can see everything. All right, and now you can write dim out mail as Outlook dot mail item. All right, so now you see both the things are easily written. So now what is out app? See this line we can write this way, and now we have to instantiate the object. Set out app equal to new Outlook dot application. All right, and now we have to write this set out mail equal to out app dot create item. All right, you can see everything is coming. OL mail item. All right, so this is the benefit of early binding. Once you go to tool and reference, you have selected this Microsoft Outlook 15.0 object library. Immediately you can write your own object and you can select these things from intelligence. All right, so these are the things which are the highlights of the code. All right, now let's write very simple code for one line, and then we'll start doing the same for all the lines and generate all emails. All right, so now what is our action, guys? Very simple. If we have to write email, we have to use this object without email, and then with this statement has to be closed with and with. So here you can write, you can see dot two equal to, you can just write first email address, because we are doing this automation only for first, for the time being. Dot two dot cc, we want blank, you can dot bcc. All right, guys, what is bcc? Behind carbon copy. All right, and now dot, what you want to write now, dot subject, you can say subject is also there. Subject, you can say payment due. All right, or maybe maybe reminder, you can write payment reminder. All right, so subject has to be perfect, payment reminder. And now what you can write, body equal to dear customer. Okay, after dear customer you have to give comma and then this. All right, dear customer. And now give new line VB new line. All right, again you give new line VB new line, and then you can write next line, please make the payment of 7654 INR. This is sufficient. All right, and then again you give VB new line, ampersand VB new line. All right, and then you can write regards. Let me shift to the left. Regards, again you comma, and again VB new line, and then thanks. All right, so this is how the email body will be written. So after body, what you want? After body, we want the email should be in display mode. So display mode means that the email will not be sent, it will be ready to be sent. Let's run this code. First you control S and run this code. How does this work? Press F8 step by step. All right, now see, code is going good, and this is the one, this is the one, this is the display. Now you see, this is how the email will look like. All right, so you can see the email is written, dear customer, please make the payment of this INR. Okay, and now end with. After you do end with, the email is ready. And now this is just one way. We have to have these things to be accessed. All right, maybe in the subject line we have to mention the payment reminder, and then ampersand, and then you can write 222262, or maybe you can write ID hyphens. So you have to do this way, ID and hyphen. This looks better. All right, and now you run. Immediately just click the button, email is ready. All right, payment reminder. Now you see, after reminder we have to give one more space because that is not looking good. Now if you just shoot this email, you see that automation tutorial 88@gmail.com, dear customer, please make the payment of this INR, and then we have to have some dot also. So you can add as much as you need in the email body, but this is the sample email which we have made for you guys. Now can we do this automation to access all the elements from this Outlook? Let's start that. Since so now what is happening, guys, all the things we have to start. So we have already initiated the object. All right, and now we have to run the loop. And what you can do, you have to set Outlook email equal to this, but you have to run the loop. There are two things. If you do this way, for I equal to 2 to 11. All right, and now this is the thing. All right, and now if you do next I, okay, so what you can do, customer ID, custom ID equal to range a ampersand I dot value. All right, so this is my customer ID has to be our object, or maybe variant. Dim customer ID as variant variant. All right, and now we have to have the amount also. Dim empty as, you can have currency. All right, in currency it is as any amount you can mention. All right, dim amount as currency, you can just put this range b ampersand I dot value. All right, now email address, email ID equal to range c dot value. All right, so we have to have amount is also the email ID. What is email ID? It is actually string. So dim email ID as string. All right, so we have got all the things with us. Customer ID, control C, you put this ampersand, and replace this entire thing with customer ID. All right. And now what is amount? Amount, of course, we have stored to this variable, and after that give one space, ampersand, and now this, and give one space. In between you put this and now give ampersand. All right, this is also superb. That amount we have replaced with our variable. Now what is left, guys? These are email ID to whom we are sending the email ID. Control C and you put that email ID. All right, so this is actually done, but now there is a problem in this code. I will explain that. Let me tell you first, if you are initiating the object, so you have to empty the memory also. Set Outlook app equal to nothing, and now set Outlook email also equal to nothing. All right, clear? So let's run that and see what the problem the code is throwing. So see, this email is generated, okay, 7654. Now go to next email. So what is happening, guys? You see, if I generate all the emails, now see how many emails are generated. Now notice that it is not generating separately all the emails. Did you notice that? It is generating and overwriting in the same email. So you close that, and this is not working because you have just put these line of code separately from the loop, whereas you are instantiating the Outlook object just once, and the same object we are using in all the emails. So what you have to do, you have to use this stuff in the Outlook email. All right, and now if you run this, see what happens. If you see, all the emails are generating. Now you understood the logic. And with this method you can generate as many email you need, so you can see all the emails are generated. Let me go to Outlook. This is my one email. This is generated. All right, and now let me go to my second email. It is also generated. All right, and now if you go to third email, all the emails are generated. You can say 145248 4390 amount is due. 145248. If you go there, so 145, yeah, 4390, everything is done. So it is working superb, guys. So now I will tell you how to shoot these emails in one go to the customer. Okay, let me close all the emails step by step. I'm closing so that you understand better how this code is written. I hope, guys, you enjoy the session. So now this is how the Outlook email automation is written. Okay, all right, and now there is one more thing which we have to remember. So that all the emails are generated, they were in the display mode. I want all the emails to be sent, just one click. So how you do that? So very simple. You just copy this, Control C, you make the button here. Okay, you make the button here, and if you just make the button, right call, and this is the macro name. All right, and now you just click this display mode, or now you go there, edit. What you have to edit here? Or generate email. Generate emails. All right, now you can stretch this button. Looks nice. This is your macro. So your macro is ready, guys. All right, are you ready? Let's run the tool now, and all the emails will be sent in no time. Now you see, just click the button, guys, just click the button. All the emails are sent, and now you see the Outlook, all the emails I'm getting now. See that, sent email 11. Now see, I'm getting all the emails. All right, this is first email. Dear customer, make the payment of this amount, and this is the customer ID. Now you see second email I'm getting. Now you see all the emails. Since I'm sending all the emails to myself, so you can see that in seconds I'm getting all the emails. All right, so guys, this is one scenario, and let me tell you some more things we can do with this Outlook automation. Now the requirement is we have to have the attachment also with TNC, with terms and condition. So how we can do that? So we have to have this kind of code, dot attachments, all right, dot add. See, this is the benefit of early binding. As soon as you type dot attachments, it's giving the idea if you don't want to remember those things. And now it's difficult to remember all the syntax. So we have all the options available with VBA. Either you do through early binding. If you are doing any code with early binding, you have to go to tools, reference, and set the object library. Since this is Outlook automation, so you have selected Microsoft Outlook 15.0 object library, whatever is latest. All right. And now a dot attachments dot add. What we have to add here? File name. Guys, file name we have not defined still. If you see the code, but what is file name? File name, of course, is a string, right? Dim file name as a string. So what is file name? So as I mentioned, the terms and condition we have to shoot. Now I have to copy the entire path for this file. So how you can do that? Press shift and right click. Press shift and right click. You can just copy as path. All right. And now go to the tool and you just control V. All right. You can see that. And this is the file name. Control C. You can just put this file name equal to this. So, but you can write control X, maybe here, and file name. This you can use anywhere. All right. So before loop, we have used that. So now you see, once you generate the email, this will also attached. So all the emails are gone, guys. Again, you go there and wait for the email to come with the attachment. All right. Now see the magic, guys. This is the first email, the attachment I'm getting. Now see the attachment. I'm getting the attachment, guys. All right. See, this is how we make the Outlook automations. And assume we have maybe 50 customers, or let's do that 50 customers. Okay. And see how long does it take. Maybe let's do that for, okay, let's do for 100 customers. Okay. And random amount we can start from here, or maybe rand between customers. I'm putting the customer name 119876 minus 198765. All right. And this is the amount I'm putting, amount, comma, the amount, guys. Okay. And now see, this is the data which is ready. Control C, Alt Control V, this, and Alt HBA. All right, guys. Assume this is the data I have with me. So guys, now you see this is the data which is ready, and how many customers we have to send the email? 100 customers we have to send the email, guys. Okay. So we have not make this dynamic. We have just hard code 2 to 11. Now how many rows are there? 100 rows. So you can just put 2 to L row. All right. And as I mentioned, we have to activate the worksheet also. Worksheets data dot activate, and now L row equal to active sheet dot cells rows dot count. All right, comma 1 dot and Excel up dot row. So this is my last row. All right. So guys, L row. What is L row? L row is long. Dim L row as long. All right. So whatever lines, whatever customers you have, as much as data you can put, now the code is dynamic. So it is superb. And now let's see how does it work. So L row, 2 to L row. This is the last row, guys. Okay. And now shoot this email and go to your Outlook, and now see these are the emails we are getting. Tool is running, guys. and now see we are getting number of emails. You can see that Outlook 89, 89, 92. Guys, how fast is that? It's not possible to generate all the emails manually. It will take lots of time. Now you see it is superb and dynamic. I hope guys you found this useful, this entire code. And let me just show you once again. And this is how you can automate Outlook. I hope you found this useful. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.